Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nikki Flick's Mandalorian Talk, Force Hub, whatever we're calling it. I don't know. I had an idea for. I think we could call this. It's just like just a casual Sunday talk. Blue
Yeah,
milk
I
and
like
cookies.
that.
You know what
There
I
we
mean?
go.
Blue milk and cookies,
That's it.
something like that. Um, but yeah, we're here. We do everything in post here. We were just saying because I cannot do an intro for the life of me. But I got my friend Dr. Spaceman here. Alan, how you doing? And I just realized I don't have the soundboard. So carry on.
No
I'll get the
worries.
soundboard ready.
Get the soundboard. I'll open this with everybody. Aloha kako, everyone. Um, we got lots to talk about. I know the whole internet has been talking about our little crew right here. We got a definite added member to the program, to the show, and it was something fans have been expecting for quite a long time. And boy, did it not disappoint. It was quite exciting. There were multiple times I was watching it on my phone at 10 o'clock p.m. on
You
Thursday
watch
here
it
in
on your
Hawaii.
phone?
Oh yeah,
Oh
because I gotta
God.
watch it first because it's 10 o'clock and all my kids are asleep and my
Yeah.
wife's winding
Uh,
down and I don't want to wake nobody up. But there were more than 8 moments where I stood up and had to shut my mouth physically to keep from
yeah.
screaming too loud because I was so
I'm just
excited and so
I'm just
happy.
picturing like Harry Potter practicing spells, like under his
That's
cover.
right, under the
Like
sheet.
you
Yep,
gotta practice these spells while everybody's sleeping. Like just you
yeah,
watching Mando in the middle of the night. They've got
that's pretty
like
much it.
Roku players that have headphones in them now. Like
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
have
yeah.
one of those.
Yeah, it was there were multiple moments where
Yeah.
I thought I'm feeling the same thing watching this series, this episode particularly, that I did watching the films.
Yeah.
Excited moments. Oh my, shocking, brilliant, fun, exciting.
Multiple
You
times where
know,
you just
multiple
I
times.
audibly screamed, yelped
Yeah.
in
Oh
this
yeah.
episode more than
Yeah.
once.
Oh yeah.
These still images you could take, and I'll put them in post because in
Hmm.
post next time I'll try to have all this up live. It's just I plan on doing that, and then when we get to it, it's like that's gonna take 20 minutes. I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll do it later. We'll do it in post.
Do it in post. Fix it
Oh,
in post.
but
Pardon me.
these still images. You could take still images from this episode that are just works of art.
Yeah, they're
Ahsoka
beautiful.
with the lightsaber, and she's not the translation of the character. It reminds me of the book cover. Did you ever
Yeah.
see like the Ahsoka book cover?
Yep.
Like it looks like that to me. As soon as I saw it,
Yes.
I'm like, okay, that's what it looks like. It looks like
Yeah.
Ahsoka from that. People were complaining that like the tails weren't as long as they should be. And
They should
like
be, but
I gotta
I think
defend
it
Filoni
translated.
on that. It's a stylistic thing where
Yeah.
everything in Rebels was skewed. Like the
Yeah.
lightsabers were pencil thin. Ahsoka's head was way too big.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like Aladdin in space. Maybe it's Darth Maul is Jafar, but there's a lot of stuff like that.
There's a whole bunch.
It makes me
I,
think.
yeah. There's a
Oh, you go
there's a
first.
number of there's a number of things you've got to do translation as far as design,
Yeah.
where you've got a real. The thing I loved the most about her was the real makeup on the face.
Oh,
And you could see the white lines that
yeah.
makeup strokes, and I thought this is really cool and a great
Art.
translation. And yeah, the tails were a little bit shorter, but
I thought they were
it translated. It was
Yeah.
perfect. It was perfect because you're talking about head movement, you're talking about all these different things. Even if it was kind of CGI, there's still got to be something there that she's feeling as an actor. So
Yeah. And you see
that
the
was really
wrinkles.
cool.
You saw
Yeah,
like
the
that there
wrinkles.
was a practical like
Yeah,
headpiece there. Although we don't know how long like Togruta lived too, so that's probably another reason why they decided to make the tails a
yeah,
little bit
yeah,
shorter.
exactly.
Because we still haven't seen her final form
No,
because there's an episode of Clone Wars where she gets a vision of her future self. She's like,
yeah.
"I'm what you could be if you continue
If you
like
continue
down
down
this."
this area,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I'm still waiting to see like Ahsoka in her final form. I'm one of those people that assume she's dead come time Rise of Skywalker, but that's something they could just retcon later because it is Ashley Eckstein's voice and not
yeah,
Rosario
yeah. Not
Dawson's voice that's
sorry.
in there. Um, and she's identifying herself as a Jedi in that moment because Rey is talking to other Jedi. She's not talking to
Hmm.
other middle ground Force users, and she doesn't say the "I'm no Jedi"
In
line
the episode, yeah,
this episode. So
exactly.
last time we saw her like actually speak, it was on Malachor. She had just gotten
Mm-hmm.
pulled out of Malachor in like the World Between Worlds thing, and she made Ezra a promise. Ezra said, "Find me when you get back."
Yeah.
And it was before Ezra had vanished. Like, it was
Yeah.
before he had jumped off into the unknown regions. And she said, "I will. I promise."
Yeah.
So that's the end of the episode. Where is
Where
Grand
is
Admiral
Thrawn?
Thrawn? I did not think she was gonna say that. I
Bruh,
thought she was
at
like,
all.
"Where's Moff Gideon? Where's Luke Skywalker? Like where's
Exactly. Where's
where
somebody else?
Grand Admiral Thrawn?" I didn't even get to the Thrawn part before
Yeah.
I screamed. Like, I
Yep.
screamed right when it
Yep.
said Grand. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I had to rewatch it the second time to hear, because yeah, exactly. As soon as she said grand, I stood up, threw my hand over my mouth, and was screaming into my mouth because
Yeah.
the kids were asleep, and I lost my mind. I lost my absolute mind, and just thought, this is, a perfect thing. And I know Thrawn primarily from the Zahn books, the
The Zahn
early
books,
Zahn books, Heir to the
Heir to the
Empire.
Empire. Yeah,
That
that's
trilogy.
all we had in the early 90s.
Yeah, that was my Grand Admiral Thrawn. I've read the new books and I like them fine, and I've watched them in Rebels. Yeah, I've watched them in Rebels, and it's fine. I think in Rebels they weren't allowed to really show what he could do. I wanted to see much more evil, much more destruction from him. So I'm
one
hoping.
scene where he's fighting the droids, where that's just a really cool scene of him taking down like those Dark Trooper droids. Where he's a force to be reckoned with. And maybe he has the Force. So maybe we don't know, because the way that lady kept saying "master," it's like master. Who's the master? Is there a new like dark side user out there?
But I really like that as far as the script concerns, and the translation from AHSOKA to live action was, that's if she's we don't know that she's fully embraced her being a Jedi yet, but I do like the fact that her use of master, but her use of the word master, that's the way Jedi speaks. That's the way they talk. Yeah. So when she was saying master, that's just how she views the world if she's going through Jedi. And we know that this lady, whoever this new character was trained by somebody or served someone. So the word master, I thought was great, and didn't throw me off to make, maybe Grand Admiral Thrawn's a Force user or something like that. No, just that's the terminology she uses, especially if she's getting more into this embrace. Yeah, exactly. And the whole thing was so Japanese influenced. I loved the dichotomy of the Japanese influence fight and then the Western gun battle, right outside, and they're outside, commenting on both. And we go back to the Star Wars trope of one scene cut to another scene, cut to another scene. These battles are happening simultaneously, but not interrupting each other and not taking away from one another. I thought that was really done.
It wasn't like, I wish they were showing Ahsoka right now. It's this makes it cool. So tense. The use of fog in this episode,
it was great.
Is incredible.
It was great. The first few moments of the whole thing, and the first moments you saw the lightsabers pop, you knew who it didn't waste any time. You knew who it was, and then when that you talk about every frame being a work of art, when you see her face half shadow with that cloak on and that saber, that image is burned in my mind. Yeah, just like Luke and the two sons. Luke and the two sons. That image, it's burned just like that in my mind, because it was beautiful and so a payoff that a lot of fans, but I think even a lot of non-fans, because my son, when I watched the episode again with him, he knows who Ahsoka is, but not really, but he was going, this person is important. This person is awesome. Who is this, and what's happening?
To teach people too. It's fun, when you see it with somebody who has no clue who Ahsoka is, somebody who just recently learned who Ahsoka is, someone who has always known who Ahsoka is. Like my father, I just watched during the quarantine. We just watched Clone Wars and Rebels, because as soon as I saw the Darksaber last season, I'm like, okay, he needs to do some homework, because there's stuff here that's really good. But you could take these screenshots of these images, and they'd be a work of art. The way that the white lightsabers translated to live action, it's the first time we've seen white lightsabers in live action.
It was beautiful.
Dave Filoni learned how to direct.
Yeah, he did.
He learned how to direct between this year and last year.
Yes, he did.
Because everybody was saying episode 5 last year, people were angry. They're like, this guy doesn't know how to direct. This is a terrible episode. This was some veteran directing by Dave Filoni. And the sets, I can't tell what's a real set in this and what's not a real set in this.
Exactly.
Because the architecture is so beautiful. It looks like they're shooting it on a real thing. Very Kill Bill, like that final.
Oh yeah, that final battle.
Setting. Yeah. And the sound that spear makes when it clashes with a lightsaber, it's so samurai. It's not the traditional like lightsaber, and I'm glad they gave him that because he's gonna fight Moff Gideon with that thing.
Oh hell yeah, he is. And the great thing about it is we knew Beskar, we knew how important it is, but without saying it out loud, the first time her sabers hit Din's, armbands, and we go, wow, this stuff can block a lightsaber. That was so awesome.
Pure Beskar,
exactly. Pure Beskar can do that.
Beskar, like I think it's Beskar Dursteel alloys. Some of them use if they can't like afford the full Beskar.
Beskar.
His first armor that we see him in, like that brown armor, it's Beskar, but it's more Beskar plated with some like other stuff that's underneath. That stuff he has right now is pure Beskar. So if you're looking back at the Clone Wars and saying, "Oh, didn't Obi-Wan and Ahsoka didn't they just slash Mandalorian
in half?" Yeah,
probably weren't pure Beskar.
Yeah.
But so I think that's the difference right there, and they do take a moment to distinguish that like it's Beskar, pure Beskar.
It's pure, and
this is the real stuff.
And it's really that gives you just that little moment. Because my son even said, and he doesn't know about, the history of Mandalore and the Jedi's war and all that stuff. He just went, these guys were made to battle each other. So there's a history there. He said that out loud. See, and that's really awesome. Just that little moment told you so much and didn't have to over explain everything, which I really loved. One of my favorite moments was when Din was walking back and forth while Ahsoka was talking to Grogu. Now we have a name.
Right here.
Which was a great moment. And when they're talking and they're just looking at each other and they're just speaking, which shows also from an acting teacher and acting point of view. Rosario Dawson, I've always thought was a great actor, but just the looks on her face and the subtle face movements, she's really having a conversation with this puppet, and it was really awesome to see that. And that he's walking back and forth because he's invested so much. You forget about the puppet. But I think those quiet moments, one thing that Filoni was really good with was use of silence in this episode. As much as the sound effects were really amazing and incredible, and now burned into our ears forever, the silent moments were really just as equally as powerful. And I thought, Filoni either had somebody there to kind of, hey, what do you think of this? Check this out. I did this last time and it sucked, but this time, look at this. I'm glad he had the bounce off. Yeah, I think he had people bounce off of, and I thought it was really cool to see.
He probably had George like on speakerphone or like via Zoom or something, because George would come on set when Filoni directed last time around. Filoni's his guy. If he's not Disney, he likes Filoni.
Yeah, I think also Favreau, because Favreau's shown he got crazy skills with creating images and things like that. So I think he was definitely had to be there too. As I mean, and we're geeking out now, in the world is kind of geeking out crazy. I can only imagine that Favreau, the reason we have this whole thing is because of him and Filoni together. So I can only imagine he was there geeking out too, going, wow, we're doing this. We're making Ahsoka into this, and it's beautiful, and it's really, really amazing. So he had to be there helping out in some way to help create those pictures. And Filoni's directing skills shot up about 100-fold, which really was, and made me go, you know what? Okay, give him the reins, let him do his thing, and let's see where this is going to go. Because there's been all kinds of speculation about what's going to happen if Ahsoka even shows up again. Probably not in this season. Maybe next season. I don't think she's going to either. And frankly, I don't need her to. But
I just need her show.
I'd be super. Exactly. Give me her show. That's what I want. I want her show. And even if it's even if the end of this season is then taking Grogu to that stone, placing him up there, and maybe they maybe they get maybe they get Ezra,
Luke,
maybe they get
Leia.
Luke, Leia. It'll if I don't think they're gonna go Luke. I think it would be fantastic to have a de-aged Mark Hamill in a 2-minute scene where he just, whatever reason, he says,
Looked great in Skywalker.
I can't, yeah, exactly. I can't do this, or whatever it is. He can't, whatever it is, the reason he's not going to do it. But I think if it isn't Ezra, because she brought up Thrawn, we know Ezra's somewhere with him, or if not,
yeah, he hasn't capped. That's why she's looking for him.
Exactly. So I think maybe, or if it's her coming to that realization, you know what, you went to this trouble. You really want somebody to train them. I'm going to do it. And then, we get that. And then we get
she didn't look like she was sticking around where she was.
Oh, no, she looked like she was about to take off. So I think if we get her in a Grogu second series, or, another series, let's go. It'd be fantastic.
Grogu's going to be on Kenobi with the timeline that they set up, that he was in the old Jedi temple. And this is the biggest thing that I think, the biggest question that people have in this episode. Who's the Jedi that saved him? Who took him from the Jedi temple? I have a theory. It's a little out there, but
go ahead. I want to hear it out there.
I can only think of one significant Jedi that could possibly be alive in that time that could save Grogu, and that's Mace Windu. Mace Windu fell out a window, people.
Yeah,
we have seen Anakin jump out of things in that city all the time.
Yeah.
Mace Windu's out there. He's alive. We just haven't seen the end of his story yet. I don't think he's alive come time Mandalorian or A New Hope. I think that's probably something that he'll face Vader and he'll die ultimately. Yeah. But I just don't think we have seen Mace Windu's final moments, because Sam Jackson has said himself, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not dead. We have seen Jedi fall incredible heights and just jump incredible heights several times in the prequels, in the entire series.
Yeah.
There's no way that would have killed him.
Now, I think if you get an Ahsoka series with Grogu, and that one scene flashback of Sam taking him out and taking him somewhere,
I could spin off a Mace show.
Well, I don't want a Mace show, because quite frankly, the brother is old.
Vader, and then you have it be about Vader killing him.
That would be really amazing too.
He really
I think one scene, if we got one scene flashback of him taking Grogu out of there, and that could be, him taking Grogu away and then Vader showing up and killing him right then, that would be, I mean, everybody's head would explode in joy if we get to see that.
Have it take place during his raid on the temple.
Yeah, you could technically do that.
Because it could be like immediately after, where like it's a wounded Mace Windu, and he's just using his final ounce of strength to get this one youngling from the temple, and while Anakin is just slaughtering the rest of them.
Yeah. I think you could do. I think you could do all kinds of amazing things, and I think they set that up. And I love the fact that they set up, bringing in Thrawn, that we are always on our toes now. Every episode we've been on our toes. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And now it's what the hell? Well, and I want to see Thrawn for sure. Live action Thrawn, sign me up all day, every day, because I think that what they could do is translate the Heir to the Empire, that series, just a little differences, tweaks here and there, and that's a whole great, fantastic story and a great Thrawn thing.
They've already set things up in the show. Tython, that's a pull from
that's a pull from
the Old Republic video game. Like, you start on Tython. The whole entire thing with the Crate Dragon, where he swallows the bantha with the explosives, that's right out of the Knights of the Old Republic video game. The spider things with the spider eggs, that's in Knights of the Old Republic too. You smash those spider eggs, and then the rest of the spiders start killing you.
Yeah, in this episode, those cages that the people were in, that's also those were incredible.
Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. It was. Universe. I mean, there was so many things that were really great. I mean, there's also the people talking about the him and talk about bringing in things that are really, really deep cut lore stuff. The owl,
but I saw the owl.
Lost Cat.
is
You know,
that the locale is the best part because it was just like it's kind of like a jump
just
scare.
quick boom. Yeah, exactly. Quick boom.
It's like
But
she
it was
used it.
cool.
She's like, okay,
Yeah.
Lothcat, I'm gonna use this.
Yep. It was really, really
I don't know if that
incredible
was
to
Morai
see.
though. I get the owl, like I get that that's supposed to be an Easter egg. I don't know if it was Morai
It
because
was
it
more like,
didn't. It looked darker than Morai. You think it was just Morai? Like it was.
I think it probably was, but
Yeah.
it was a real Easter egg, and it's
We
specifically
haven't seen that
for
live action.
really, really deep cut people. I think it was specifically for that, but I think it was definitely more. And I think,
I hope.
Those kind of things are going to come up later on, especially if we get, more big surprises from the Rebel and Clone Wars timelines. I think we're definitely going to get some more deep cut stuff, which would be just
so much
incredible and fun. Yeah, there's so much lurking out there,
I
and
don't know where they're gonna go.
I want to see more Legends stuff come into play.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because that's and mainly because
you want to see Mara Jade,
bruh. I want to see Mara Jade.
Yeah, you want Mara Jade.
I want Mara Jade in a big way.
I want Dash Rendar.
I want Rebecca Ferguson playing her.
Oh.
I mean, come on.
Why?
Think about that. That would be insanity, and I would love every minute of it. But the thing is we don't know what they can do, and what I love about this is it makes me feel the way Star Wars made me feel as a kid, excited about storytelling again, excited about fun adventure storytelling, and that's what I want, and I love sharing that with my kids. With my daughter, she's into it enough, but my son is really, I'm seeing myself his age. The first time I watched Star Wars and Empire and Jedi, I'm seeing that in his eyes, and these things I bought for him. And then he played the hell out of them. As soon as he opened it, he goes, "Oh my God!" And he went crazy. And we played for a good 2-3 hours, playing with toys. And I went, "This is what's up. This is what we're doing." And this is what Filoni and Favreau, they were doing when they were my age. When we were all kids, they were doing that.
Pouring their action figures out on the floor.
Exactly, they're pouring them out on the floor, and they're saying what we can do with them, and it's just super exciting. It's an exciting time, and I'm glad to be a Star Wars fan again. And I think this episode was probably cements up there with, okay, if I'm gonna watch my saga, because I ain't got love for the prequels, this.
Yeah.
But I will watch the original 3, a number of these episodes, and the sequel trilogy. I will watch those because I got love for all of those. Even though I got big problems with Last Jedi, I still got love for it. And I will just be a happy, hey, this is what Star Wars is for me. This is what it is for my son, and everybody's enjoying and communing in this one thing. The super thing I liked so much about this episode 2 was, besides it being entertaining and good television and good storytelling in the Star Wars universe, it brought so many people excited. And people all across the world are talking nothing about this.
No one's fighting
figure
about
right
Star
here.
Wars.
No one's fighting anymore. This figure right here, I bought it Wednesday because I knew as soon as this stuff dropped, this gone. I ain't gonna find this no more. And on Black Friday and yesterday Saturday, when I went just shopping around, no, all AHSOKA things gone. All gone.
He's gone. But what there was more in this, the score. That's been like, I love Ludwig's score. Like I love everything he's done. I just, one of my gripes with last season, that give me more. They kind of gave him complete creative freedom first season. This year they're definitely giving him some notes of where to use certain things. Because in this episode you get Kevin Kiner's AHSOKA theme.
You get the AHSOKA theme.
The Clone Wars and Rebels, and then you get Yoda's theme for a little bit. You get a little bit of Yoda's theme, telling the story about Yoda. Everything Rosario Dawson brings to that character, I've always seen this in her. She brings such weight to every single character she plays. Like she has a heavy heart. And you just, so that's why as soon as she's on screen, I feel like that's AHSOKA. I'm not thinking like, oh, it's a recasted actress. It's somebody else. That's not so. No, she's AHSOKA. She's AHSOKA from the first frame she's on. She's the shots where she's just standing there. The best shot of the show is just her standing. She's
Yeah.
standing there several times, pointed lightsabers, and then she's standing there. They show her like kind of like a face off, and then the lady retreats, and then it shows her standing above it behind Mando, and then she just kind of jumps over the thing. So many great shots in this show.
It's so many great shots. My favorite is when Mando gets the rope around her, and she just looks up, looks at him, little smirk, and she knows what she's gonna do. And it was incredible.
She got her mannerisms, her smirk so well.
Yeah, she got
every time she smirked, I was like, "That's Ahsoka.
Yeah,
that's Ahsoka."
Yeah, and it doesn't do any, because even if say they're gonna do another animated and they're gonna use Ahsoka again,
you can still use
and Ashley's gonna voice her again, it's still gonna be the same character. It's not gonna be any, no disrespect to either one of these great actresses playing this. It's going to be seamless. It's going to be flawless. So that's another beautiful thing about the translation from live action to animated, is finding the two actors together. Yeah.
Because Bo-Katan's one of those that Katie Sackhoff is a live action actor that did a voice acting role in the Clone Wars. So it was just a natural translation to have Katie Sackhoff in that role. Ashley Eckstein, as great as she is she's not really a live action actress. Like that's not who she is. She's a voice actor, and she's very good at what she does. Then there's sometimes like they had somebody different playing Saw Gerrera originally. Then they recast it, and they had Forrest Whitaker in the movie. But ever since then, anytime it's been animated, it's been Forrest Whitaker again.
Yeah.
So, but with Ashley, I think she has enough of a following as Ahsoka that I don't think they'd replace her. And I do think we're going to see her in that Bad Batch show, because she's alive during that time.
She's alive during that time.
Rex in that show.
Well,
I think that show they haven't really. I think that show is going to be about Rex, pretty much. Like, it's going to be Rex. He finds the Bad Batch, and then they just go and liberate other clones.
Yeah, I think exactly right.
You might see what happened to Cody. Like, what? Maybe. I still want to know. Like, that's the biggest lingering question from Clone Wars. What happened to Commander Cody? We know he turned on his Jedi. Where is he after that? Does he just have like PTSD? I killed Kenobi's horse thing, and then he fell. Like, he just has PTSD from it. Where do you think we're going? I have no idea where we're going next week.
Next week.
Gonna find him? Because I thought Moff Gideon was going to find him like in the last 5 minutes of the episode.
Exactly. I thought when Mando said he's in the ship, I thought when he gets back to the ship, that baby gone. Grogu gone. We just learned his name, and now he gone. I think it's going to be either, some of maybe a couple of those dark troopers we saw, maybe even if it's just one, but I think it's going to be another Mando's trying to get to this place, and somebody going to attack him, whether it's Imperial Moff Gideon's ship. Yeah, somebody's going to attack him, and it could be Gideon. It could be a thing, where it's an offshoot of what it could be anything. Who knows? The thing I like about it is that I don't know.
Not yet.
I don't know. We all speculated with this episode that we might get a scene or two with Ahsoka, but no, brother, we got full on boom, and it was beautiful.
Backdoor pilot.
Exactly. So I think we're gonna get who knows what we're gonna get, and whatever it is, I don't care. I'm just here to absorb it. I'm ready to bring it on, whatever it is, because I think the episodes. I like the mysteries. I like the not giving us everything right up front, making us wait a little bit, because it's episodic, and I like that nature of it. If they need the time to craft things, obviously they're going to pay it off, because this episode proves, take your time, do what you got to do, create some brilliant art.
Yeah. But because last week it seemed like last week was kind of going to be like a filler episode, and then they started doing Snoke stuff.
Exactly. Yeah,
so it didn't play into the greater part of Mando, but it played into that Snoke stuff. Do you think that Moff is here to stay? That's going to be a big bad after this season, or do you think he's going to kill Moff and then Grand Admiral Thrawn's the next big bad?
That's what I would like, honestly, because I like Moff Gideon.
But be on the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, well, I'd like. That would be a good way to translate them into, or to prepare us for, prepare us. I think Moff Gideon, I like him as a big bad, but we know he's going to die, because we don't hear about him ever again. So I think this season, finalize him. He's out of here.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think then we open it to a Thrawn or to something else. It could be something
Yeah.
else we're not even expecting. I mean, we don't know. Also, we've got a lot of. I would like a new introduction to a new Jedi that we don't know. I would like that.
Yeah.
And if it's a translation of Ezra into live action, that would be cool too. But I would even like more is a Sith or a Dark Jedi introduction. I would really like
They
that.
could bring Starkiller back. Like they could bring like Starkiller back, Force Unleashed games. They could have
They
Sam
could,
Witwer play it. But would
yeah,
love
they
to
could
involve
do. Yeah, they could do anything. I would really
Kyle
like that.
Katarn's one
Yeah,
that people like.
yeah,
But they don't mind changing the time period that the
a little. Yeah,
person
enough. Yeah.
existed in, and I'm okay with that because they'll get there eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Because like with Thrawn, it's like, okay, well now instead of being the heir to the Empire storyline, they're having him be before A New Hope. But
Yeah.
then he does go out into the unknown reaches. He doesn't do it
Yeah.
intentionally; it's an accident.
It's an
And
accident, but
now he's
yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
So that's the heir to the Empire storyline. So
Yeah,
do you
which
think
would
what
be-
Thrawn's doing is Imperial related, or is it him with the Chiss ascendancy?
It's probably with the Chiss, most
I hope
likely.
it's the Chiss ascendancy.
I hope
because
it's
I
'cause
want
it
to
would
see a
be-
different villain in the Empire.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be so
I
new.
would like that to have a different villain,
Yeah.
which and would it would even be better in my mind. Besides a Sith or a Jedi, we have a Force user that has its own thing. That it's a new
Yeah.
thing. It didn't grow up with any of these.
Maybe
rules,
Thrawn got him from the
right?
unknown reaches. Like he brought him
Yeah.
back.
And brought him back, and maybe his one of his first commands or one of his people is a Force user that is only of course Thrawn knows everything about all the Force users and both factions and all that stuff.
He's
But if
probably
he
been
uses
studying
that,
wherever he went,
yeah.
he studied.
Exactly, but all that information he's got, he can use that to create his own whatever he wants a Force user to be, and that's something I would kill to see. It would be so fantastic.
Thrawn is just such an interesting layer to it because we really don't know if it's going to be Thrawn on this show, Thrawn on another show. But I have no doubt now that they're definitely planning on doing the Rebels live action spinoff. Like that is happening.
I think
there's no
that's going to happen.
That doesn't happen after this. Even if they do bring Ahsoka back this season, and as much as I love seeing Ahsoka with Mando, this was one of those. And they haven't done this much on this show. This was the one time that there's somebody in there that is cooler than Mando. Like there's somebody on screen that you care about more than Mando.
More than Mando.
And that's a little bit dangerous to have on a Mandalorian show because it's like when Superman shows up on Supergirl. It's like, I love Supergirl, but that's Superman. That's Superman.
Well, what I loved about this, especially with that, again, the last two battles in this episode for both of them, is even though Ahsoka is cooler than Mando, we still love Mando because we're still invested in that scene right along with her fight scene, his fight scene.
He was just
and he wasn't even doing anything. Exactly. It was a classic standoff gun battle,
that guy had
and it was awesome. Yeah,
he was holding the gun the whole time.
He was holding that thing the whole time.
Like, shoot, it's like Mando doesn't have a gun, but the guy just knows I'm going to shoot him, and I'm going to hit part of the Beskar, and then he's going to shoot me.
I thought he was my ass,
because he said this isn't a cause worth dying for. It's like, okay, good, you're wise. Come on, man, he's going to let you go. What are you doing?
But I just love that whole moment because even though Ahsoka again is cooler, Mando, we love this character. We love this character no matter what. And we're invested in what happens to him. So that's why I cannot see Ahsoka again the rest of this season for sure. And I'm still invested in Mando and where he's going and what's going to happen to him. Especially
gave us enough to sit on for a bit.
Yeah, it gave us enough to sit on for a bit with her. And now we're really super invested in the child or Grogu or Baby Yoda, whatever you want to call him. We're super
Grogu.
invested in what happens now. I love that name. It's a great name.
My mother, I got these Baby Yodas before it had a name. I got two of them for my nieces, and I got a text this morning from my mom. There was a picture of one of them with the Baby Yoda. She's obsessed with Yoda, and I corrected her. I'm like, Grogu.
Grogu.
It's
That's right.
Grogu. That's his
Grogu.
name.
That's his name.
So I'm not letting anybody call him Baby Yoda anymore. He is
Yeah.
Grogu.
And I love how they doubled down with if people don't like his name. And then I've read some things where people are not happy with him having a name. But his reaction when Mando said the name, bro, that cemented it. That's his name. And he, you know, that's it. We don't need nothing else. That's who he is.
I just don't like that they're treating him like a dog during that scene. Like
they are treating him a little bit like a dog.
You want the He's 50 years old, guys. Come on. The guy's a Jedi.
But I liked that you know, what I really loved about that is all the psychological aspects, the PTSD aspects of it, when she was talking about, you know, he's trapped and he's put himself in there so he doesn't succumb to fear, that he doesn't become to these things. He's regressed because that's helping him and saving him. And I just thought, what a brilliant way to kind of go into that without making it too, you know, oh, he has amnesia. You know, because that's the easiest route everybody always goes. But no. He's doing this to himself, which really kind of goes within the mythology of Force users and how introspective they need to be instead of reacting on impulse, because impulse can sometimes lead you to the wrong things. So I really appreciated that aspect of it.
He was traumatized as a child, so now he's stuck in that place.
And Mando,
I like that.
Yeah, and Mando's going to help him get out of that because he sees him as a father figure, and as a dad. All those, you know, things kind of well up in me. I was going, oh, that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's just really great. So the fact that they bring all that in, and those quiet moments allowed that stuff to happen with that. So I thought Filoni showed us with this one episode that he can do drama, action, suspense, thriller, all of. I mean, because the first 2 minutes was the AHSOKA horror movie.
Yeah, and that's another thing. She is not using traditional Jedi tactics.
No,
she is scaring these people. She is scaring the shit out of these people before she kills them. Like, that's the biggest thing that we noticed when we were watching it, was that she's making sure that every single person that she kills has a moment of terror before she kills them. She's feeding off of that dark side energy. She's in the middle. She's like Mace Windu, who is able to feed off of that side without being consumed by it, because she doesn't have these attachments. Like whenever she feels she's getting too close to somebody, she breaks off. Like she's not there with the Rebels crew right now, even though she cares about them. She's like, I can't get too attached to them. I need to go do this stuff on my own. And the way that she talked about Anakin, that was great. I've seen what this can do to people, to the best of us. The way she says that, it's just like, ooh. Anakin really was the best of them. He was. Anakin was never gonna let like people die for no reason at all. He was gonna save the day every time. So but then there were the Jedi that the greater good Jedi. But I do think she has somewhat reclaimed her Jedi heritage, because the thing she's saying about like, I sense much fear in you. No, I can't train you because of these feelings. That's a very Yoda Jedi Council thing to do. So it doesn't seem like she is disillusioned by the Jedi Council as she used to be, but she still kind of is choosing her own path as a Jedi.
Well, it also shows her aging and learning through, you know, knowing your limitations is as equally as powerful as knowing your strengths. You know, both things you need to know. And the one thing that I always felt with the whole Force thing, and one thing I wish they would have done in the sequel trilogy, is play more of this. And I think Rian Johnson was trying it, is that balance. There's that incredible balance. And I think Luke, the character, figured that balance out. And what made him so amazing in my mind is because he found that out. Yeah. But so I think Ahsoka has that ability to find that balance, you know, because it's equally as important. You know, the dark and the light, it's equally as important to one another, and you have to find the balance. And that's how you traverse through this world, because that's what's going on all the time in these worlds. So I think that her finding that realization and knowing that, I know I can't train this guy because of these things. It's not just, you know, you're too old, or you're too this or too that. No, there's specific things that I know I can't do. And I really appreciated that a lot. And then we go to the flip side of it. There's things she knows she can do. I can scare the hell out of these fools before I cut them down, you know, and it's not going to overtake me. I'm not going to become evil. I'm just going to scare the hell out of them. And I really appreciated that a lot. And then we go to the flip side of it. There's things she knows she can do. I can scare the hell out of these fools before I cut them down, you know, and it's not going to overtake me. I'm not going to become evil. I know this is a tool, this is a tactic, and I can do this, and let's go.
Yeah.
So that was super cool to see both sides of that in one episode and within, minutes.
True balance is it's the yin and the yang. There's darkness in the light, there's light in the darkness. Like
Exactly.
that's what true balance is. That's what Anakin was trying to achieve. Like bring balance to the Force. It's not about having complete evil or complete good. It's about having both and being a functional Force user is that. And they, like Luke even says, for a time there was balance. Ahsoka, we're seeing it. Like we're seeing the balance of the Force right there in action.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So I would like if they do an Ahsoka series, I would like a couple scenes with Ahsoka and Luke. I would like a couple scenes. So if they're gonna do it, you better hurry up. You better hurry up and do it because Hamill, Christian Stan or Stan, what's his name, the Winter Soldier.
Sebastian.
Sebastian Stan. He could play a young Luke, but I want to see Luke. I want to see Hamill. I want to see Hamill. That's what I want. So it'd be cool to have a couple scenes.
She knew his parents when they were at their best.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Like I hear Jeremy Johns like saying that in his like recap. He was saying that like Luke would get to talk to somebody that actually knew his parents and that actually got to see what they would be like as parents. They were good parents. Like they were like her parents on Coruscant. She would go to their house and have dinner and all this stuff. Her and Padme were really close. So it would just be a cool thing because you hear all these people like Obi-Wan was talking about his father and he was big about it. Yoda. We don't get a lot of talk about Padme. Padme doesn't get enough love. And it would just be really cool to see a scene with Ahsoka saying, "Yeah, I knew your dad. I knew your mom too. We went out on adventures as well. People don't talk about her, but they should.
But they should because she was an integral role in a lot of that stuff. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, that would be a cool moment to see that.
Yeah. But do we have any final thoughts? You got any final thoughts where we're going? Where we've been?
Final thoughts is, it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan again, and we can't wait to see what happens next, man. I can't wait to see what happens next. Next episode, I'm gonna be right, just as thrilling and exciting as this one. Even if it has nothing to do with anything, even if it's just a, side episode. Who cares? I just want to see what happens. I just want to see what happens.
Like he has Boba Fett's entire armor just in his ship collecting dust. So I think at some point he's gonna lose the armor and have to put on Boba's armor, just because he doesn't have his own armor. I think that and then he'll have to go on a mission to get it back. But that's why I think that Moff isn't going away because I don't think we got it a little bit in episode 3. We haven't seen the child in real peril yet. We haven't. Yeah. I think Moff Gideon's gonna take him and he's gonna have him for a bit. And that's going to be.
I think he's going to probably have him. And that might be this next episode. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be the next episode too, because we didn't see anything out of Moff Gideon in this episode, and we know they have that tracker on him, so we know that it's just
it's there.
And that's the thing. Ahsoka didn't look like she was staying, so it's not like with Cara Dune where he could just go back to that planet and be like, Ahsoka, she left.
She's out. She's gone. She did her job here, so she's out.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, strolling through town. Now she's gonna go on to the next town.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Cool.
Well, this was fun. We can't wait till next week. We'll do it again.
Yes, sir.
And watch Mandalorian on Fridays. And we'll see you next time.
All right. Aloha, everybody. Be good out there.
But it didn't have it.
Hey, put it in post.
I will. Everything's going to be in post because I didn't hit the soundboard all during this episode.
True. There was too much to talk about.